One thing I got to give you a little bit of a hard time and an opportunity to clarify on. Some people struggle with your company's name. I've had a few investors called Invisalign, Invizyne. Do you see that? What is that an opportunity to potentially rebrand, re-explain?
Yes. So we are obviously internally used to calling ourselves our name. We do recognize that it's very hard to pronounce, spell, and therefore remember. And why should we start this long journey where we want to introduce ourselves to the whole world, being a little handicapped on that journey? Like if we're going to run a marathon, why not make sure that our shoes are tight from the beginning? And that's exactly what we're going to do. So as you're alluding to, there is a rebranding effort coming up next year, where we will be basically not just introducing ourselves with a new name, but also with a new way of explaining exactly what it is we're doing as a company in a way that is easier to understand, that instead of this long format where we have time to sit and explain and compare ourselves up against Bio and other things, that it becomes a standalone story that is very clear to people why that has value. And on top of that, we'll also make sure to stand out, where we can't just look like everybody else when we are so fundamentally different. So we will make sure that both in communication, but also in look and feel, that we make sure people can remember us and our value proposition.
Yeah. What else should we, be aware of, just kind of as we flip the calendar to 2025? I think you provided a great overview of the tech, the potential, how you view things. But from your vantage point, you have a unique vantage point sitting as a CEO, having a commercial, a background bringing technologies commercial. What are things that you want to make sure that investors and potential shareholders understand?
When we get this right, the potential is so much bigger than anything else I've worked on before. And I worked on some really big things before. So it's not because the bar is low. It is fundamentally a new way of making chemicals, or you can say it's a new generation of natural resources for humankind. And that's super big. At the same time, that's a long journey. That's out in the future, and we can't survive on nothing short term. So you will see us go from being a very science-oriented, mostly company, to become a commercial first. That's why we do the rebrand. That's why we're adding certain commercial talent to our team. That's why we're taking our time to get the strategy right on what we work on first. We definitely not just the first shiny object that came in the door, then we jump on that. Because what happens is another shiny object come in and jump on that, and then you never get anything done. That's how a lot of our kind of companies ends up basically running in circles. Being deliberate, strategic about what we work on and in which order will be clearly communicated next year. Why we have taken the specific choices when we can talk about those specific choices. And we'll also open up for that leads breadcrumb-wise to what we're going to do the following years. People will also be able to see that there are different revenue profiles and assets build-up profiles. So it's actually a portfolio of opportunities, and they will hopefully get to know us as good chess players in getting that portfolio built right, so that we get a good balance between not just being dependent on one large company, or not just having one profile that has for example, let's say if we only went after pharma and drugs only, then the timelines would be way too long. This ability to be nuanced about that, what we bring to the table that have not been brought to the table before, that gives us a competitive advantage, is that we can do, for example, nutraceuticals with the potential of pharmaceuticals, and right. That we can basically make sure that when we show up to a knife fight, that we bring a gun.
I like that. I grew up in some tougher neighborhoods in New Jersey, so I can understand that. There's too many guns nowadays. Yes. We didn't have knives. It was just fists.
Yes.
But So look, very exciting what's happened. I want to give a nod to how well the IPO has performed. Obviously, to date, it's a testament to the loyalty of shareholders here, to your ability and the team's ability to cast a vision for what's ahead and what's to come. I look forward to future conversations with you. Hopefully, maybe in New York, where we're in person together, celebrating at the NASDAQ site at some point in the near future. What would you like to impart on our listeners today as we kind of sign off here? Final words and thank yous go to you.
So today was a flyover, a lot of different topics. We promised to go deep in all the different verticals of that. We promised to be professional and transparent about what we want to deliver when. Some people will be hoping that I go out and make a lot of promises and based on that kind of gets very easy to foresee. I do have a style where when I make a promise, I want to deliver on it. So it is not. We're not going to be easy to day trade in as a stock. We know already now from the investors that are buying in, they're buying in to hold it. They're buying in to take the journey with us. We are a public venture, MDB style. That means that we're not afraid of taking on hard challenges because the rewards are really high when we solve them. And I think Invizyne is probably going to be the poster child of that. When that said, is we will commercially deliver value inflection points down the road. So I keep being asked about what I think about the stock price. I obviously have absolutely no opinion on that. What I ask people to do is to sit down and close their eyes and think about where we're going to be in 5 and 10 years from now. And if you as an individual think that price is higher, then the current price is absolutely a good price. If you think it's lower, then you should start working on communicating to everybody what is wrong. But that's obviously that's not the case as we see it.
Well, listen, that's music to my ears as a former analyst. That anytime a CEO said they focused on the stock price day in and day out, I knew there was a problem. They need to be focusing on the business and on execution. The stock price takes care of itself. So good to hear that you're on the right side of that. I want to just tell everyone, thank you for the time. I want to thank you, Michael, for your time, your candor, always, and being transparent. I look forward to the next conversation as we start to flesh out more of the details of your strategy, the rebranding, and hopefully some exciting news that is on the horizon here. So thank you again, and thank you to our listeners.
Thank you.